Oh, howdy all, grab yourselves a beer, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. Now, today, Path of Building has been updated, and you'll see here that I've opened up a 3.7 character. This is not the character I'm going to be playing in 3.8, but it's a starting point for building it. This was in the 3.7 passive tree, and it was a character that I used in a private league that had some fairly difficult mods in it. So you'll notice that I've taken a whole lot of resists on the tree, and that was deliberate because this character was being played in a league where there was a 40% resist penalty for players. So for that reason, I had to pick up more on the tree. But it is a bit of a starting point. What I'm going to be doing is starting this league with a Raider. A Raider's been overhauled. Basically, every node on it's been buffed. And so where this is a Pathfinder that was built around the Herald of Agony skill, and instead build around Herald of Agony to start with on a Raider. Now, the reason for going a Raider is because of all of the speed that you pick up by virtue of the Frenzy Charge nodes and by virtue of all sorts of other good stuff that's come in there. So this is the old version of the tree, but I'll just transform it across to being a Raider and just outline. The nodes are the same, just the numbers on them are higher now than they used to be. Lots of movement speed, lots of evasion. And then I'm going to be rebuilding this tree, and it's something I can't do at the moment, but I'll put up a full build guide when it's ready. The idea is that I'm going to be using evasion and life as my primary defenses, and that's going to be the primary things I'm going to be looking for on the passive tree early league. Early league, the Herald of Agony skill is extremely strong because it allows you to put all of your effort into building defenses on your character from the passive tree. Herald of Agony just works as a 4-link. It will kill bosses on its own as a 4-link, as long as you can keep Virulence stacked. I'm going to be using, in order to stack Virulence, I'm going to be at least starting with a Vaal Rain of Arrows. Now, I may not have access to the Vaal version immediately. As soon as I get it, great, but I'm quite content to just use Rain of Arrows as the starting skill. My day one goals are as follows. I want to get through the storyline in a pretty fast time. And Rain of Arrows triggering Herald of Agony is fairly fast at league starting. It's also very good at killing all the bosses along the way. So I'm going to push through the storyline, get into maps. My goal is then to do most of the white maps and most of the yellow maps day one, and also to do enough of the red maps that I can build my way towards the center of the Atlas. Ideally, I'd like to get a day one Shaper kill. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. Then, once I'm near the center of the Atlas, I'm going to shift my goal in a little bit towards amassing currency through selling maps early on. Early on, there's much more demand for maps than there is supply, and so I'm going to be focusing on generating as many maps as I can, as many high-tier maps as I can to sell. And that's something that really comes down to using the Zana mods carefully. Along the way, I may farm channel in order to earn myself a quick tabula rasa. I'm not decided on that yet. I really need to plan out the build fully before I can commit to that. It may be that I prefer to use a 4-linked and then ultimately 5-linked, a 4-link and then a 5-linked pure evasion chest instead. And anyways, so in terms of the other benefits of the Raider Ascendancy, so I will have a lot of attack speed. Attack speed is very important with Herald of Agony. And when I was playing it last on the Pathfinder, I felt compelled to pick up to use faster attacks as a skill gem. I don't want to have to use faster attacks on it. I want to have more coverage and potentially even just more damage on the actual Rain of Arrows itself. Most of my damage, and certainly all the damage for killing chunky rares and for killing act bosses and things like that, that's going to come from the Agony Crawler, but I would like my character to be able to take down white mobs in just... I'm not necessarily going to one-hit them the way that you would on a normal build, but I would like to be able to, 2 or 3 hit them with fast attacks. So for that reason, I may also pick up Barrage as a secondary skill as well. I've got to work a lot of these things out. In any case, I'm kind of curious as to what your league start plans are as well. If you've got any comments about what you're playing, definitely leave them below. Otherwise, I hope you have a good one. I will eventually be respeccing this build as well. I should probably point that out, that I will be transitioning it from a Raider focused on Herald of Agony. Once the gear starts to exist in the league, and once I can afford it, I'm going to transition them into a dexterity stacking cold damage build, I believe. But that'll be several days down the track, I believe. I really need to start seeing the Shaper bows with the absurd cold damage prefix. They need to be in circulation before I can do that. Anyways, that's all I've got at the moment. If you got any questions, definitely fire away. Otherwise, I'm going to try and get two build guides up tonight, 2 build guides up tomorrow, so it'll be pretty crazy little content, a little period for putting out videos.